Alright everyone, thanks for joining me on the live stream today. It is December the 23rd, so we're almost to Christmas, guys, so happy holidays to everyone. Let's see what we got going on today, see if we can catch some trades. Still setting up a few things, so just give me a brief moment here. Alright, I think we might go over a few of the trades that I took on Monday. I did kind of go through those. I believe it was on the Tuesday stream during the Asian session. So we might touch on those for a moment, and we'll see what we have setting up here today. Well, I hope everybody's had a good trading week so far. This week had a total of what, five trades, including a small loss yesterday. I think that was yesterday, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that small loss I took yesterday was, yeah, that was yesterday. So total of 5 trades. So that'll be what, 3 losers then, and 2 winners, but still profitable for the week. So still not a bad week. Low on the win percentage, but hey, it's been a rough, well, not rough, but it's been one of those last couple of weeks kind of thing. Because last week I only took a 1 winning trade and 1 break-even trade on Friday, and this week's been 5 so far. Let's see, yesterday it was the euro dollar. That was almost a couple $100 loss yesterday. 180, 190 almost. Yeah, so in the grand scheme of things, not much. Just be aware that, I mean, we're only about like 7 minutes away for some news that's going to be releasing here at 8:30. You can check forexfactory.com. So some news for the CAD and the dollar. So of course, I'm not gonna place any trades during the news, so it'll probably be at least an hour after the news before I actually jump into a trade. So just gonna play the waiting game on this and see what happens and where that drives it, because I typically try to stay away from news. I try not to trade it at all. So sometimes I might get stuck in it, but if I'm in a trade, then I'm probably setting things to like break evens just to get kicked out of it in case it spikes somewhere. So we'll jump in and do some analysis in just a moment here. Like I said, news is about to come out anyway, so I'm not gonna jump into anything at the moment. So hey, welcome, MK. Thanks for hopping on the voice channel here. I mean, this last week or so has just been a lot of consolidation with the euro dollar, so hasn't been much to really have a lot of confidence in the trade. So I've stayed away from taking buys on the euro dollar so far, because I mean, to me, I have a feeling it's going to break below. It kind of tapped below a little bit and then came back up yesterday evening. So, but if we look at the 1 hour, it's making lower highs, so kind of coming down on it. So it might take some time, but I have a feeling that we're going to start like either breaking back down. But for me to consider buys on this one, honestly, I would want to see this broken up here, these highs, and come back to retest it, because otherwise I'm not really confident on buys on this one here. Yeah. We'll look a little bit deeper at the euro dollar and some of the other currency pairs in a moment. Like I said, just kind of waiting out for the news and setting up a few things, so we'll see what happens here. How's your trading been going, MK? Now you're not very active in the Discord. You don't talk too much on there, but Yeah, hopefully we get some type of movement here, because like I said, I probably won't trade the euro dollar unless we make, honestly, I would want it to really break below before I start taking any trades on it, because I'm not confident on any buys on the euro dollar for now. If I can get something like this, or even get it to come up and then retest, then I'll look for a trade. But outside of that, this entire consolidation zone here, this channel, yeah, I don't, no, I'm good. I need a direction to be confident in to be able to take a position, so. But if you guys are taking any trades or trading the news, I mean, definitely let me know in the comments. See what you guys have in mind, but I'm staying out of the news for now, so. See, for the most part before, we had a good direction. We had a place where price was actually heading towards. I mean, as it was making its way up, you only see, okay, it broke the 4 hour, came down, retested it, tested it once more, and made its way up. Broke the 4 hour, came down, retested it, came back down, retested maybe a couple times, made its way up. And this one, let's see, was it making any lower highs? Not really. Maybe here, one lower high, and then fly up. After this break though, I mean, they moved up, came back, tested, 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 and it looks like it's on its way back down again to test it. As many times as it's hitting that level, I think it's gonna break. So I'm not confident on any buys on this. Like I said, this looks like it might. At least my bias is that it's gonna break below it. Either way, whatever happens, then I'll take a direction or look for buys on a specific direction. So let's kind of see what plays out here. As far as the news, let's see what actually happened. So, came in as forecast. At least for the major part, but not good. little bit of rejection. So like I said, I'm not buying on any rejection until I see it break one of those levels, whether it breaks below the 4 hour or above that 1 hour up here. I have something developing. Break and close above that, maybe. I mean, you might have some type of a gap here if this comes up and comes back down to retest and then moves all the way back up to the 4 hour. I mean, that's a good, what, maybe 100 pips on that one? About 80 pips, so maybe 70 of that would be profit. So if we can get something like that, possibly, I would be okay with this trade. At least recently, we're making higher highs. High, 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 same high, high, high. So we're moving up on that one, at least for the time being, until we reach that 4 hour zone up here. So I would be okay with a buy on that one if we broke above and came back down to retest it. I mean, I guess you could say the same about this. High, higher high, higher high. But then if you look at just the previous movement, even on the 1 hour, it's not just higher highs, it's lower lows. So that's why I'm just gonna wait out this euro dollar one. So I don't think I'm gonna have anything on the euro dollar this morning, so keep an eye on the other pairs though. Might have a good movement on the Aussie dollar. I mean, this one is kind of ranged a little bit, and that's a lot of selling volume, selling off here. This might break too. We might get a break on this one. The thing that I'm noticing, and you kind of want to keep an eye on, is the way the market is actually moving. You have a lot of selling movement once it actually starts to sell off. I mean, look at all these red. That was a pretty steep drop. Played around a little bit, made its way back up. Another pretty steep drop. So this is the ones that you want to catch. You want to catch those drops. The same way it was doing here. Fast movement up, slowly come down, retrace, movement up, slowly retrace, movement up. I mean, just bam, just like that, and then small retraces until it drops like that. So I want to keep those in mind and try to be on the right side of that movement. So honestly, I would probably say sales on the dollar, the Aussie dollar for now. And this is probably what I would be looking for on the Aussie dollar. Probably slowly make its way back up and then come down to that 4-hour support here. 20 might be a good play around on that. Aim for 40, a good 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. Before it hits the 4-hour zone there. Yeah. And that's what I would be watching out for. Like I said, kind of in correlation with the US dollar. I'm not in favor of any buys on this one, even with that rejection. I mean, that's just news doing that. So, but if you, like I said, if you look at the 1-hour, we're making lower lows. We're testing the 4-hour support multiple times. So, at least until it breaks above this hour, then I would look for buys. But not at this point. I'm no longer trading this range at this point because it could break one way or another. So it already has multiple tests on the 1-hour zone and the 4-hour zone. So either test could really break and make a move from there. So I'm gonna stay out of that one. But like I said, on the dollar yen though, if we can get it to break above and close here, we could have a nice retest at this level, have about 70 pips move up to the 4-hour. But we'll see what happens here. This candle really doesn't matter, so it's just news. So just let that play out. But like I said, with all this selling power that was here, if I can get it to retest, or if price can make it back up to retest this zone, then that would be a good area for me to take a look at sell positions on that one. And maybe that'll correlate with the euro dollar coming back down to the 4-hour. But we'll see. Wait and see what price wants to do. That is a lot of bounce on that one though, but like I said, I'm disregarding this move altogether. This candle, couldn't care less because that's all just news movement. So, which could be a catalyst to make, price go where it wants to go, but for now, I'm staying out of it. Let's see, pound, dollar. Right in this area. Came down, rejected there. But again, this is news movement, guys, so disregard that. For the most part, on the 1 hour, making lower lows. So if I'm looking for anything, it would be sales. I just don't have really a good zone to look at for sell positions on this one. Nothing clear, at least. The 4 hour is the only one. I mean, but I don't know if the price is really gonna make it all the way back up here like that. Yeah. So I'm only looking for sales on the pound dollar. Yeah, I'm not confident that it would make it all the way up here, but this is a zone where I would take a sell. Or, so let me move to the 15, yeah. Or if we can get something like this. Either come up here and reject, or go ahead and just make your break below here, and then come back up to reject. Both sell positions, just different key levels, and based on whatever price wants to do at that point. Yeah. So still nothing on the dollar, the euro dollar so far, so looks like we didn't get the break and close above, but that might take some time to play out. We're not at a level for the Aussie dollar yet, and we're just kind of in the middle of the zone for the pound dollar, so just kind of wait and see what that does. That was a nice drop there. Has it been there before? Yep. I mean, it literally came down to that and then bounced off of it. That's incredible. I mean, this is just basic market structure, guys. I mean, look at exactly what price does. It literally goes to those previous levels and reacts to it. So you can make trading easy for yourself by just look at the structure. Look at where price is going. Look at where price is likely to react to. This would have been a good buy here, but I mean, that level was quite some time ago on the 4 hour, so unless you were watching that specifically, you may not have caught it. But yeah, way back here in May of this year, that's the last time price got to those levels. Just simple market structure. don't really see a trade yet on this one. Yeah, I would still want to see something like this to break above it a little bit more, come back down and retest it. Doesn't look like it's happening very soon, so we'll see. It's making its way up there though, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens to it. I'm not going to bother with the other pairs, really. Yeah. And that's coming right back down. So is there anything else? Like, so it's 8:51 Eastern. Not much else going on, like, as far as, like, big news for the rest of the day, so we should be okay on trades right a little bit after like 9:30 or so. But of course that depends on where we are in the market, if we're at a zone or not. So not going to force a trade. If your setup doesn't happen, don't trade it. Don't trick yourself into seeing something that's not there. Just be patient. If it doesn't happen today, it just doesn't happen today. So hopefully the dollar yen makes its way up to break above and retest, but just gotta wait. Same thing on the Aussie dollar. Only looking at sales for that one, and only looking at sales for the pound dollar as well. And yeah, this movement right now it's up, but overall we're turning down, so not going against that. This may be a level to potentially retest, maybe. Nah, that's not enough of a window to make a trade on, though. Yeah, that's not worth it. Let's take that out of play. Yeah, just gonna wait for either a break below here or a retest of it up here to take a position on that. If I don't get that, then I'm not trading that one. Kind of a middle of consolidation again. It's always been the last week or two, so. As far as right now, yeah, I don't see anything clear to actually jump into a trade on. So I think what we'll do is just kind of go through the trades from this week, from Monday I already talked about Friday's trade on Tuesday's stream, so if you didn't watch that, yeah, you can go back and watch that. I think it's on like 45 minutes or so. Um, but Monday, so what happened Monday? I don't know if I still even have these marked up. That was Thursday last week, Friday. Yeah, was it this move here? Yeah, it was right in here. Let me mark that here. Of course I would make it a white line. Alright. So Monday, 4 total trades, 2 on the euro dollar and 2 on the pound dollar. So what happened on this one is I had sent out to the group, what was it, Sunday night? Let me actually see if I can pull it up here. Monday was the 19th, so it would have been on the 18th that I sent these out. Yeah. So on Monday, this is one of the entry zones that I sent out for the euro dollar. We're above the 4-hour major zone here, and we're consolidating here. And we had a lot of price movement come up. So this is kind of a supply and demand trade with a demand zone being established here. And I was looking for price to come back down, reject off of here, show the confirmations, and then take a buy position on that. So if we go back to Monday, when that actually played out, so that screenshot you were looking at is basically this move here. So let's pull that back up here. So yeah, you had price consolidating here, a lot of fast volume coming in. So basically all I do is wait for price to come back down, retest it whenever it does, if it does, and then once I get the confirmation and rejections, I go ahead and take a buy position there. So what happened is price pretty much did that, came all the way down. Now we didn't get the rejections right away. It came well into the zone, into that demand, and then started giving us the rejection wicks to go ahead and take a buy position there. So I did go ahead and enter in a buy. I don't recall exactly the price exactly, but I know I have my stop loss set to 15, and I got tapped out on it. So I took a loss on that one. Just kind of visually see it here. I was aiming for where, like 50, or was it 40? I think it was 40 on that one. 30. So I was only aiming for 30 on that trade, right before it got to those highs up here. And stop loss was at 15. Yeah, 15, almost 16 pips on that one. And as you can see, we did reject a little bit, and then price came well into the stop loss area. Didn't hit it right away, but eventually it did reverse and come all the way down, and it tapped me out on that one. So I took a loss of 15 pips on that trade that day. Now, right after that though, because I was still confident on buys at that point, because we had rejected a couple times here, and this is going to be the second or third time it was going to go ahead and reject, which is perfectly fine. Except I was looking for it to just reject at this demand zone, which it did at first, but then broke below it to retest the 4-hour major. So since I lost this trade at 15 pips, I looked for my entry zone on, well, I looked for the entry signal on the 5-minute chart for that one. Yeah, let me find exactly where that was. So on the 5-minute, let's go back and back. Yeah, it was here. So this is where I took my buy position to re-enter the trade. After it came down to the 4-hour, it gave us a nice rejection wick here, but I didn't take that one until we got the engulfing candle. Even though it was just a 5-minute, that's fine. It came back above the zone and actually closed above it, right? So that's where the next buy entry was taken. and then I aimed for the exact same amount of pips that I aimed for, well, not the same amount of pips, but the same level. So it's 30 pips up here, which was at 106.39, almost 40. So that's what I did. I aimed for that target again, that same exact target, which gave me about 53 pips on that move, 53 or 54, if I recall correctly. So took the loss on this one. So we go back to the 15-minute. Took the loss on this one for 15 pips, and then on this move, re-entered in at the bounce of the 4-hour level, and it almost got to the take profit, but didn't quite get there right away. What ended up happening is once I got way up here, I mean, I pretty much made up for the 15 pips that I lost, plus a little bit of some here. How much is that? Maybe only like 6-7 pips, so not very much, but it made up for the 15 pips and about 6-7 pips, and I was already well into profit on that one. So I went ahead and moved my stop loss to break even for that one, because it was a longer trade. I probably should have just took profit here, but I was confident it was going to make it up to these highs again, at least up here. So I ended up holding it and just moving my stop loss to break even and let it ride out. So price didn't actually come back down to the break-even point, and this is the actual news that happened on, was it Monday night or Monday at 10 o'clock? So if we go over to Monday, this was the Japanese news, the yen. That 10 p.m. news that came out is what actually drove this price movement all the way up and hit my TP. So won back my 15 pips plus 6-7 plus, I mean, whatever I was aiming for originally, 30 pips. So I got about 53 pips out of that one. I think it was like 53 or 54 if I recall. Yeah. So took a L on this one, made up for it on this one plus some. So not a bad trading day. So those were the two trades on Monday for the euro dollar, and then I had a kind of a similar setup happen on the pound dollar that I'll go through here as well. Explain how that played out. But that wasn't a bad one here. But let's go ahead and see if anything's happening yet. Yeah, still nothing yet on the euro dollar as far as taking a trade today. So let's go over the pound dollar trade for that Monday. Don't think it's set up anymore. Was it the pound dollar? Yeah, it was the pound dollar. So the other zone, let's see, Aussie dollar. I didn't actually have that one as a zone on the pound dollar. So let's find that area here. I think it goes well over here, yeah. Here it is. So this was kind of a similar setup here. We had kind of a little bit of consolidation and a lot of movement rushing up above that area, right? So basically do the same thing as I did on the euro dollar, was waiting for price to come back down to that zone and retest it. Didn't quite make it here, but it did here. So price came all the way into the zone, gave us a little bit of a wicks, and then I saw that last third candle here. So this candle here, which is basically just all wick, showing a nice rejection, went ahead and took a buy position here. And the same thing that happened on the euro dollar pair pretty much tapped me out on that one and took an L for 15 pips. And then I pretty much did the same thing I did with the euro dollar. I went down to the 5-minute and looked for my rejection at the 4-hour. So where is that price? Here it is. So basically the same thing that happened on the euro dollar pair. After I took that loss on the pound dollar here, saw a rejection on the 4-hour and saw a closure here right above. So nice bullish movement. I think I took like 80 pips on this one too. So this one actually made up, was that 20 pips stop loss? And 80 pips, yeah. 80 pips put me right back at the same target that I was aiming for initially, which was 50, but took the loss on that one. So I made up for the 15 pip loss, plus a little bit extra in that gap here. So now, similar thing again that happened on the euro dollar pair. This didn't reach it all the way immediately. What happened is, once I got to halfway into my take profit, I went ahead and moved my stop loss to break even and pretty much just laid it right out. This was kind of towards the end of the New York session, so price was just going to consolidate for a bit and then decide what it wants to do. And then, like I mentioned before, 10 o'clock Monday night, the yen news came out and pretty much spiked it up. We go all the way here. That's where I hit my TP. So on the 15 minute, let's take a look. So yeah, took that first loss, re-entered at 4 hour, came back rejected up, stop loss break even, consolidate, news came out, boom, hit the TP for 80 pips. So those were the 4 trades on Monday. 2 for the euro dollar and 2 for the pound dollar. And yesterday on the euro dollar, I took a small loss on that one. Where was it? I think it was this movement here. Yeah, so on that one, I was looking at this area here. So kind of a supply and demand type setup. This is what well, I can just move this actually. This is what I was looking at. A lot of Russian movement going up, come back down and wait for a retest. And that's exactly what we got here. I mean, this was like a perfect supply and demand setup for me. We got the rejections and everything, came down, wicked in again, and then I went ahead and took a buy position there. Now on this one, since it was kind of a spur of the moment trade, I didn't have my stop loss set to the 15 pips that I usually do for the euro dollar. It just depends on where price is and where I'm seeing a rejection. So this one, I didn't actually have the stop loss set for it, right? So what ended up happening is, and I was aiming for about just a 40 pips on that one. What happened is, price came all the way down into that 4 hour. This red line is the 4 hour zone. And price pretty much just rejected that zone and bounced back up into that area. So this is where I actually exited out about 4 pips loss on that one. So I did take an L on that one, but I was no longer confident that it was going to make its way up. So, and the reason, and this is very simple stuff, guys. Like, okay, I see prices consolidating here, see a rush of movement. Wait for it to come back down, show rejection, show that it wants to move up, take a buy. At that point, I have a bias that price is going to bounce off and go back up, right? Because of the rejections that are there confirming the move. Once price broke below that level and closed below that level, at that point, this whole theory goes out of the window. If it breaks and closes and stays below it, then it doesn't matter anymore what the setup was. At that point, I'm not confident that it's going to make its way back up. So once price got back into that zone, I went ahead and just took a small loss on that and called it a day. I could have almost broke even if I waited a little bit longer, but I mean, there's no way to tell where exactly price is going to be. So I was fine with a 4.5 pip loss on that one. And then, as you can see, price just pretty much kept making its way back down and back down. If I would have held and held and held, yeah, sure. I mean, I would be right around this area, but I don't hold trades that long. I don't stay in a position that long, and you never know where price is going to do at that point. Because if you're just staying in it just to stay in it and see what happens, then you're completely guessing. You have no strategy at that point that you're holding on to. Once my strategy is broken, then I need to be out of a trade and wait for a new setup. That's it. I'm not gonna wait and just see what price is gonna do. You're gonna lose a lot of money doing that. But yeah, so the 5 trades: 2 on the euro dollar, 1 loss, 1 win; 2 on the pound dollar, 1 loss, 1 win; and then the small loss yesterday for 4.5 pips. So not a great percentage, but still up. Actually, I think the loss yesterday brought me, what was it, below 4,000, so about like 38 something, almost 3,900. So not bad for the week. Even if I don't place a trade today, I mean, still profitable with a losing percentage at that. So last week was worse though. I only made those 2 trades. One was a break even, one was a loss. So technically I had 0% last week from just that one losing trade. But yeah. But this week, still profitable. Took some losses, but all traders take losses. It is what it is. As long as you're making money, so. But outside of that, it's what, like 9, 10 now? Well, I think we're kind of out of the woods for the news. But I don't see any actual setup that I would want to take. Yeah, still kind of waiting for price to kind of do its thing here. To move above and then retest. Which it looks like it's heading that way. That's great. And on this one, it might not come all the way up and retest. But we'll see. Only looking for sells on the Aussie dollar and only looking for sells on the pound dollar as well. Just depends on where you enter in. I would only enter in up here or enter in down here after a break. But those are the only 4 pairs that I'm really going to monitor. It's not going to be much going on that I can see today, so might not have a trade on the stream today, guys. Yeah, I don't see anything immediately really setting up. Just kind of playing the waiting game. So we might cut this short. Not just going to hang around on the stream waiting for a price to do its thing and watch it dry. So let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to force any trade on this. It's not in my setup, so it is what it is. It's a nice rejection here. But I'm only taking buys on this one, so I would need it to break above and retest. Not quite there. Same thing, just buys. Definitely not there. Consolidate. And it kind of came and bounced off of that, but that was news, so disregard that. This may be another good one to take a look at as far as an entry point. Yeah, so either I guess throw in here, come up, retest this level, move up, break above here, retest this level, move up. So this still applies. We're just not quite there yet. So yeah. Nothing really clear on this one either. I would stick to just buys on this one too. Still got a lot of gap to fill in, so. But as of right now, no trade on that. Now gold, I rarely, I don't trade gold, but I rarely look at it for analysis because the people in the group don't really trade gold from what I understand either, so. It's something that I know a lot of traders do trade gold, so I try to keep an eye on it every so often. But for the entry zones group specifically, they really don't mess with it as far as I know. So yeah, It's not really a clear direction. I mean, for the short term, sells. That's all I can tell you on that one. I mean, looks like we're actually at a pretty decent zone here. So came up, rejected, broke above it, came back, retested it, moved up. I mean, this is price action and market structure, guys. Highs, break the highs, retest the highs, go up. Break the lows or break this low, retested, go down. I mean, it's that simple and clear. I don't know how much easier you could really make that. So it's all that you got to look for. Same thing here. High, break above it, retest, move up. That's all trading is at the simplest form. So this, if you trade gold, I mean, hopefully you caught it up here, because this would be a nice move here. So about 50 pips maybe. Aim for that here. A little bit over 2.5. Almost 2.5 risk to reward ratio. I would only be trading it to this level here anyways to take a profit. But that's all that I have on this one, so I'm not going to take any trades just yet. Maybe something to play out like 11 or 12, but outside of that, I think that's all I got for you guys today. We already kind of went over the trades of the week. 2 on euro dollar and 2 on pound dollar Monday, and then 1 on euro dollar yesterday for a loss. So it is what it is. Like I said, if you guys follow traders or learn somebody's strategy, understand that no strategy is perfect. You're gonna have losing trades. You're gonna lose money. The game is basically lose less than what you win. You always want to make sure that you're winning more, and the risk reward ratio takes that, I mean, into full effect. As long as you're using a stop loss and your risk to reward ratio is at least 1 to 2, 1 to 3, then you're good. You can take losses and be fine with it. I mean, I had more losses this week than I have wins, and I'm still up almost four grand. So like, it's that easy, guys. I mean, well, I shouldn't say it's that easy. Trading's not easy. Patience is hard. Discipline is hard. And not tricking yourself into trading when there's not a trade there is hard, because you always feel like there's money to be made in the market, which there is. And if you're, I mean, like a super scalper kind of thing, then yeah, sure. But yes, I am a scalper when it comes to Forex trading, but I only trade at significant key levels, and I only trade my specific trading strategies. I'm not just going to take a trade just for the hell of it. Gotta be in my zone, gotta be showing rejection, gotta have confirmation. If I don't get that, I'm not trading it. It's that easy, or that simple. Keep your strategy simple. Trading is hard enough. You don't need to make your strategy more difficult than it needs to be. So outside of that, if you guys do follow the channel or like to stream or whatever, you can go to SyllaFX.com. You can learn the trading strategies that I use there: supply and demand, support and resistance, and trend trading. The course price will be going up soon, so right now it's still just the $1 for now. Probably after the holidays it'll go back up to its original price. Don't know what I'm going to make it just yet. So and if you guys are interested in the VIP entry zones, so part of the entry zones that I showed you today, the ones that I sent out Sunday evening for Monday's trades, those are entry zones that I send out every weekday to the VIP entry zones group. This is not a signals group, guys. This is not something to say, hey, trade this, make this trade this much, this level, or whatever. But the entry zones are basically the levels that I'm looking for to take my entries. Basically the same thing that I just showed you on the euro dollar. The entry zone is at the top and the 4 hours at the bottom. So if I look at a specific zone that I would trade, I need price to get to it, retest it, and then take a trade. So I send out those entry zones on three or more, usually it's like 3 to 6 different currency pairs each weekday. And at that point, it's at your discretion if you're gonna trade it. A lot of those I may miss because they happen during London session. I'm usually not awake during London session. I might get up on those maybe once or twice a week and take a look at it. But if you see the movement, if you see it get to that zone, if you see the rejection and the confirmation, then it's at your discretion to take those trades. I'm not here to tell you what to trade and when to trade it. Just giving you my trading strategy, the entry zones that I'm looking for on a regular basis for my personal trades. And yes, I will share when I do take a specific trade and let the group know. But you trading is at your discretion. So hope you guys understand that. Hope you guys enjoy the content and follow the channel. Like I said, go to SyllaFX.com if you want to learn more about that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Outside of that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video because I don't see any trades to take really right now. So it is what it is for the week. December the 23rd. Happy holidays and hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for watching.
Want to become a full-time trader? Start making money trading from home today with the SyllaFX VIP entry zones. Receive multiple trade entry zones every weekday for different currency pairs. You also get access to the full SyllaFX trading course, as well as live trading sessions. Go to SyllaFX.com now and join the VIP entry zones.